St. Paul.
There's nothing like April in Paris. Today on PM Magazine, we'll visit this romantic city. Come with us as we explore the sights and sounds that make Paris come alive in the springtime.
Then, it's been 4 years since Walter Cronkite stepped down as America's favorite anchorman. This afternoon, Marilyn Beck talks with Walter about his life after the evening news.
And Scott Hamilton grabbed the gold medal at the '84 Olympics. Now he's gone pro. See how he dazzles fans as a star for the Ice Capades.
Good afternoon and welcome to PM Magazine. I'm Steve Doyle.
And I'm Kath Brown. And this afternoon, Steve and I are getting into the spring spirit here at Bachman's on Lindale. You know, Steve, just looking around this place kind of makes you want to start digging in the garden.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, we'll have more on that later on in the show.
But first, we're going to really get you into the swing of spring by visiting a city that a lot of people dream of traveling to in April. Of course, we're speaking of Paris.
Now, last year at this time, Steve and I had the opportunity to explore this romantic city. And we thought you might like to see, once again, what makes Paris come alive in the springtime.
Of more songs or the cause of more passion than Paris, France. Ernest Hemingway described Paris as a movable feast, a city whose qualities are so infectious that once you've visited it, you end up carrying bits of the experience around with you forever. And so it was for us, two Americans in Paris, ready to indulge in the banquet.
Whether it was a stroll through the Tuileries to watch the children at play, visit to the celebrated Opera House with its beautiful Baroque facade. Paris is one rare treasure hunt with historical gems to be found in every direction.
A great battle was fought here, a style of painting born there. From saints and kings to architects and authors, they've all left their mark on Paris. The historical nucleus of the city is Ile de la Cité. Here you'll find Notre Dame Cathedral with its spectacular flying buttresses. The church took almost 200 years to build. With a grand rose-stained glass window and eerie gargoyles, this architectural marvel has become one of Paris's most photographed monuments.
Another landmark that is as much a part of the Paris skyline as the Eiffel Tower is the Church of Sacré-Cœur, high on the Montmartre Hill. It was here that Steve and I got a sample of the lifestyle that's made Montmartre famous.
It was to these narrow and crowded streets in Place de Tertre that many French poets and artists came for their inspiration. These streets once were bustling with a rich and picturesque bohemian life. In fact, it was here that Toulouse-Lautrec first immortalized the bawdy French can-can dance in his posters at Moulin Rouge.
Here in the Place du Tertre, in the shadow of the Sacré-Cœur, you can pick up an original piece of artwork for just a few francs, or if you'd rather, you can have your own personal portrait drawn.
Voila.
Voila. There they are, the French patent stew.
Superb.
Merci, merci.
Merci bien.
As Montmartre is a haven for painters, so the modern Pompidou Center is a playground for performers. Sightseeing can be a full-time job in Paris, but be sure to leave some time for shopping. The stores range from the ultra-modern Les Halles complex to the quaint streets of Saint-Germain. While Steve enjoyed browsing the antique and print shops on Rue Napoleon, I made a special visit to the Louis Ferraud Design Studios.
Oh, this one.
I think this was it. Let me go try it on. The first first dress, a one-of-a-kind beaded wonder, was très chic and cost $10,000. But the piece de resistance was a gown of jewels and feathers, accessorized by Mr. Ferraud himself.
You become like a princess.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
From haute couture to haute cuisine, Paris offers only the crème de la crème. And its elegance and intrigue by day only become more seductive in the evening light, with restaurants, discos, and dance halls staying open till the wee hours of the morning.
It's a city of excitement, enchantment, and true renaissance. Perhaps that's why it's been said that good Americans, when they die, go to Paris.
Boy, that sure brings back
Doesn't
memories.
it?
Oh,
Gosh, that was a
what
good
a
time.
great trip it was. If you're planning a trip to Paris this springtime, you might want to know that the temperatures there range from the high 50s to the low 60s. It's really very pleasant.
And tomorrow we're going to continue our visit to Paris by hopping aboard the train of mystery, the Orient Express.
And when we return, we'll meet the man who will tell us all about the way it was.
The problem with most heat and serve sausages is that no matter how long you cook them in a microwave, they never turn brown. But now there are broiled and brown pork sausages from Hormel. We've already broiled them, so they're already brown. All your microwave has to do is heat them. New broiled and brown sausages. Hormel has already done what your microwave can't.
The watch to watch is Loris. Fashionable, dependable, Loris. It's everything except expensive.
There's a zesty part of you in everything you do, and that's what makes you different from the rest.
Even when I toss a salad, I do it with zest. That's why I love New Good Season's lemon and herbs dressing. It's so deliciously zesty. It's got real lemon zing with oregano and garlic and other garden herbs and spices. I just add oil and vinegar and, ooh, what a great new lemony taste.
Try new lemon and herbs and new blue cheese and herbs, 2 new zesty good ones from Good Seasons.
7 a.m. and Judy starts cooking sausage for breakfast. Her twin Jeannie starts her sausage at the same time. 7:05 a.m.
Brennan Sir's ready.
Jeannie uses Swift Premium Brown and Serve sausage. Pre-cooked 5 minutes from sizzle to serve. Delicious, real meaty sausage.
Hey, Mom!
For great tasting sausage, have Swift Premium Brown and Serve. Links or roll.
Great day without the wait.
We're Beatrice.
We're stepping out. Come on, walk America. Join us, step on out.
Join Team Walk. Be part of March of Dimes Walk America. Help fight birth defects. Register now.
Here's an update from the WCCO television newsroom. A SWAT team called to a home in Brooklyn Park after a woman shot one of 3 men who police say apparently tried to break in. A 15-year-old girl critically injured this morning when a school bus and a semi-trailer collided near McGrath, Minnesota. Neither of the others were injured, none in serious condition. In northeast Minneapolis, damages are set at $500,000 in an overnight fire at the Scher Brothers lumber yard. We also have a tornado watch in effect until 9 p.m. for southwest Minnesota, including Redwood Falls.
For 19 years, Walter Cronkite was anchorman of the CBS Evening News, and for most of that time, he managed to keep the newscast at the top of the ratings.
His last newscast was in 1981 when he handed down the anchor chair to Dan Rather. But since then, his life has been almost as busy. Here's Marilyn Beck.
In poll after poll, Walter Cronkite's been voted the most trusted man in America. He's been our father figure. He covered virtually every major news event for CBS for 35 years. In 1968, Walter broadcast a special 30-minute program opposing America's involvement in the Vietnam War. President Johnson reportedly turned to his press secretary and said, "If we've lost Walter Cronkite, we've lost Mr. Average Citizen." It was reported that for the first time in American history, a war ended because of an anchorman. Johnson's words and the impact that your broadcast obviously had, has that kind of power ever scared you, that the trust that the American public's put in you?
Well,
I didn't appreciate the power even then, because it was sometime later that I'd heard that Johnson reacted the way he had. What I heard was he was furious. But I only heard later that he had sort of thrown up his hands at that point. And I don't want to overdo that. I mean, I think it was just one straw. You know, I mean, I really do think that he was ready to say we've got to do something else anyway at this point, and he was beginning to see his own re-election chances fading, and so he was depressed and down at that moment. But I did, but in understanding that might have helped swing him later on, the full power of the medium did come home.
Kansas-born, Walter never forgot his Middle American roots, nor did he lose the hard journalistic approach he developed working as a young newspaper reporter in Houston, Dallas, El Paso, and Kansas City. It wasn't until 1950 that he got into television, and Walter remembers one of his early bloopers.
Well, yes, the very first, my first network news broadcast, regularly, well, important news broadcast. I'd been doing feeds out of Washington, kind of substitute things and whatnot, but this was my first one assigned to me, and it was it was then called the Sunday News Special, and I was taking it over for the first time, and the director of it was a wonderful fellow, but he had a slight liking for the bottle. So I was working with the same director. They didn't replace the director, and I was scared to death that he was going to get loaded and put up the wrong film, and my face was going to be hanging out there. And of course the sponsors came down from upstate New York where their headquarters were, and they were all in the control room, and the ad agency was all there. We got through the entire broadcast. We went to the last commercial. I came back from the last commercial, one of those, I'll have more in a moment. All you have is saying goodnight, you know, that's a practice of, thank goodness we've stopped, I think, most places. Anyway, they went to the last commercial. All I had to do was say, and this is Walter Cronkite saying goodnight. And it had been a perfect broadcast. And they hadn't had one of those since the inception of that broadcast. And I thought, boy, we pulled it off. I came back and I said, and so this is Walter This is Walter Cronkite saying good night. You know, the disaster.
Oh, that's marvelous. That's marvelous. Walter, of course, went on to become recognized as the single most authoritative figure in television news. Presidents valued his opinions. He, in turn, has some fascinating personal opinions of them, beginning with John F. Kennedy.
Oddly enough, I had more difficulty getting along with him than almost any of the presidents. He was pretty tough on criticism and on the press. You remember he banned the New York Herald Tribune from the White House at one time. He had a temper that caused some difficulty. On the other hand, Nixon followed, whose Watergate performance certainly, and whose personality in general I found rather strange, to say the very least. I had great rapport with, great success with. Carter, I think, probably is the best brain.
Really?
I know, I've known sitting in the White House, and from what I hear of others going back a few years before my time, yes, as far as total concentration, brain power, memory for details, he had a card index mind that could pull out facts and figures. He could take complicated matters and put them into perspective and analyze them. His problem was in staff. And then we come to the president, and I try to avoid commenting on sitting presidents.
All right. 4 years ago, Walter didn't so much retire as slow down. He's doing 3 television specials this year. The first one airs this Thursday night. It's called CBS Reports, Honor, Duty, and a War Called Vietnam. Are the specials enough to keep you content and happy now?
Well, the only problem is they take too much time, really. My semi-retirement has turned out to be something of a myth. I'd like a little more retirement, a little less semi, I think. Am I happy? Am I satisfied with doing it? I'm having a good time. I enjoy doing it. It's good to work on stories in depth. Do I miss the evening news? Yes, a great deal. I wouldn't want to go back. I'm very happy with my decision, but but I do miss it.
And as Walter would say, that's the way it is.
Well, on a more personal note, Walter and his wife Betsy are celebrating their 45th wedding anniversary coming up this July.
Next, Scott Hamilton is celebrating a different anniversary, his first season as a professional skater.
Things sweetened with 100% NutraSweet display the 100% NutraSweet symbol.
Dad?
Yeah?
What does this spell?
It's a little red swirl next to the words NutraSweet brand sweetener. Not hard to spot at all. The 100% symbol means no saccharin, no sugar added, but great taste.
NutraSweet.
100% NutraSweet.
Oh, that's the good stuff.
Why some things taste better than others.
Hi, I'm Larry Key for the New Southdale Ford, and I've got a great solution for your problem. You're probably saying, I can't afford a car right now. How about a 1979 Volkswagen for a cash price of $1888, or better yet, 42 payments of $61? How about this? A 1981 Buick Skylark, listen to this, $3888 cash price, or 42 payments of only $124.57. $1 down, no payments till July. We'll see you soon.
Have you ever been ashamed of your white socks? Ashamed of your plain socks? Then get Oxidol, and you won't get ashamed to show it white.
The secret to Oxidol? Bleach. These green crystals have color-safe bleach. Want to see the difference Oxidol makes? Look.
The Oxidol sock is whiter. We can show off our whites, 'cause with Oxidol, you won't get ashamed to show it white.
Homers mean a lot to the Twins, but to you they could mean 10 grand in cold cash. And a hot new Pontiac Fiero. Just play the Pepsi-Cola Twins Home Run Countdown. Look for numbers under specially marked tabs or inside cans and caps of Pepsi-Cola products. If your numbers match our total homers by All-Star break, you can win the cash in the car. Win instant prizes, too. Save your Pepsi caps and cans. We're going to bat for you.
In last year's Winter Olympics, Scott Hamilton became the first American man to win a gold medal in figure skating since 1960. After 17 years as a competitor, Scott is now learning to become an entertainer. This past year, he joined the Ice Capades, and PM Magazine caught up with him in Washington, D.C. to see how he's handled the change.
In Sarajevo, he captured the gold. These days, Scott Hamilton has gone pro. Following in the footsteps of past Olympians, Scott's joined the Ice Capades.
I'd like to be a very, very good show skater. I like to be somebody an audience would like to see again. I like to be good at my new job. I don't want people coming to the show and coming saying, well, it's a shame he's slacked off since the Olympics.
Olympic memories have not faded for Scott. In February 1980, he was chosen by his Olympic teammates to bear the flag in the opening ceremonies in Lake Placid. 4 years later in Sarajevo, Scott carried the flag again. But in 1984, the 25-year-old skater grabbed Old Glory and the gold.
Yeah, I was more scared. I think I was more intimidated by the audience because there's so many Americans there. In the short program warm-up, I was devastated by the crowd. I mean, they were just yelling my name, and I couldn't concentrate. I didn't think it was going to be like that.
Scott's schedule since the Olympics has been jam-packed with appearances. And in addition to his job at the Ice Capades, Scott's been invited to perform with skating stars, past and present. While in Washington, Scott joined a lineup of skating legends directed by the Dick Button.
Years ago, it was very formal, very rigid, and as the time has gone on, the skaters are freer to do what they want. And Scott Hamilton is a very, very loose skater. It's wonderful to watch him, and nothing is out of line for him to do. He'll try anything.
You just can't say, oh, God, I just live for the times that I'm just out there skating and the cold air is flowing through my hair. I mean, give me a break. Nobody feels that way. You know, some people spend all their lives thinking about what they're doing and thinking about their activity and this and that. That's great. And I hope that the people that do that are extremely successful, but I want something more. I want to be good at what I'm doing, but I want other things as well.
Skating may not be his life, but one can't deny that Scott is so good that he makes skating look so easy. Now that he's traded the judges' scores for audience applause, he could use a word of advice from a past champion, Dorothy Hamill.
I tried to warn him a little bit about what it was like because I know it was very difficult for me. I think more for women because women are more sensitive, I think. But I think he pretty much has handled himself very well.
I'm working so hard. I'm trying my hardest tricks. And I'm pushing hard, and I'm trying to get into the audience every single show. And I hope it lasts. I hope I can keep doing that for as long as my body holds out.
Even though Scott has made the change from amateur to pro, he still has to practice as much as ever, up to 10 hours a day. By the way, Scott said he'd never seen a gold medal until one was put around his neck. So he's put that one on display so young skaters can see it up close and use it for inspiration.
This Coke bottle is 70 years old. We'll meet the man who collects Coca-Cola memorabilia next.
A short history of refrigeration from Sub-Zero. Over the decades, advancements have been made in style, size, and performance. Now for the 80s and beyond refrigeration systems by Sub-Zero. Built-in refrigeration systems for elegant kitchens. Sub-Zero offers a wide variety of models to fit your application. Side-by-side models, lower freezer models, and even a roll-out freezer drawer. Discover the elegant difference of Sub-Zero.
Discover the elegance of Sub-Zero refrigeration system at Ventahood.
Just when you thought your lawn was satisfied, you discovered water alone just isn't enough. Hi, I'm Jerry Baker. Grass needs nutrients too, like Super K-Grow fertilizer from Kmart. For easy application, there's this Kmart broadcast spreader. Both are now on sale at the Lawn and Garden Center. At prices like these, I'd feed it before it's too late.
You can't do better than Kmart.
I believe that success should be as fun as can be. I believe in eating right, so sugar-free.
I believe in Crystal Light, 'cause I believe in me.
Crystal Light Drink Mix is sweetened with 100% NutraSweet, so there's no sugar, no saccharin, and no saccharin aftertaste. All these natural flavors taste so terrific.
It's hard to believe there's only 4 calories a glass.
I believe in Crystal Light, 'cause I believe in me.
You know how terrific that turkey sandwich tastes after Thanksgiving? Well, now you can enjoy a turkey sandwich that good any day of the year with Lewis Rich sliced turkey. It's cooked and sliced for you. Delicious, up to 95% fat-free. It's naturally lean. So, for the ultimate turkey sandwich, you don't have to wait till after Thanksgiving. But you do have to wait till after math.
It took Louis Rich to make turkey so right.
Dynamite!
You might remember that old advertising slogan, "Things go better with Coca-Cola"? Well, for James Porter, he's really taken it to heart. For the past 15 years, he's collected Coca-Cola memorabilia. Here's our Lou Green in Columbia, South Carolina with the story.
James Porter collects Cokes, and Coke cans and Coke calendars, and even Coke cross-stitch. Anything and everything bearing the Coca-Cola trademark is placed in this bedroom, even the bed. He's been composing his Coke collection for 15 years, and he gets his items from everywhere. Flea markets, antique shows, and he's even dug some up.
I had one lady call and say if you would come pick them up, I got a set of earrings with Coca-Cola bottles on them. You just have to shop around and determine what you'll pay for something. Sometimes they got it overpriced and I don't buy it.
What one item in here brought the biggest smile to your face when you got it?
That 1915 bottle over there, because it was bottled before I was born.
This bottle still has the original Coke inside, and the label is made from paper. His most expensive item is this tin sign, also dating back to 1915, with its original paint intact. It cost his family $90. He's got Coke art, Coke trays, Coke knives, Coke chairs, a Coke radio. And a tiny Coke lighter. And bottles. Bottles of every shape, weight, width, and height. See anything that looks out of place in this picture? As someone who collects all of this Coca-Cola memorabilia, surely you know the secret recipe.
No, that's the one thing you can't collect. Only the Coca-Cola people know that.
But knowing James Porter, that's next on his wish list.
James isn't the only Coca-Cola collector. There's an international organization of 1,000 Coca-Cola collectors called the Cola Clan.
Well, speaking of getting into the spring spirit, the folks here at Bachman's say that April is a prime time for getting that yard in shape. Seed it and fertilize it. Oh, don't forget to rake it first. Then as far as the rose bushes go, uncover those and raise those. And don't forget the tulip beds. You have to get all the stuff off that's been protecting it all winter long.
Good ideas. You know, also this year, Bachman's is celebrating 100 years of being in business here in the Minneapolis area. And to help celebrate that, they have commissioned these beautiful porcelain bisque figurines of Minnesota symbols. Steve has the
common loon.
The common loon, and this is the lady slipper, and they're available at all Bachman's floral stores.
Well, tomorrow on PM Magazine, meet veteran funny man Steve Allen. He was the original Tonight Show host, and his talents have kept him in the public eye for over 30 years. We'll hear his views on today's comics like Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, and Eddie Murphy.
Then we'll continue our week-long series from Paris. Join us as we hop aboard the train of mystery, the Orient Express. This moving monument attracts visitors from around the world.
And we'll drop into Serlin's Cafe in St. Paul. This hole-in-the-wall eatery has become famous for its good home-cooked food and warm hospitality.
Well, that starts off another week on PM Magazine.
Does indeed.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Stay tuned for the 5 p.m. report, next here on Channel 4.
Today you'll learn why smart homeowners buy PC glass block windows. First of all, they're molded together. Kind of pretty, huh? But these windows are tough. Look how thick they are. And because PC glass block windows are hollow, they insulate really good. They keep out drafts, rain, noise, and guys like us. That's why I got them for my mom. She's safer with PC glass block windows.
For a free estimate, call 612-227-0415. 612-227-0415.
Traffic can be a